Well, hi there, Andrew Bell with you, and here we are in December. I won't talk about how fast the year's passed, but I will say it's been an amazing year. There were clearly two distinct, different halves of the year. The first 6 months was dominated by the effects of the APRA financing regulations that made it almost impossible to get a loan. And of course, the fear around the change of a federal government and what would happen with the impacts of higher capital gains tax and the elimination of negative gearing. The market was grinding to a halt, and there were very few people with any interest in buying real estate at all. Well, moving to the second half of the year, and some of the fundamentals that have driven the real estate market really kicked into gear fast. Population growth continued to build demand and created some pent-up demand. Interest rates fell again to new record lows, with talk of even more falls. Suddenly real estate was on the agenda, and it was clearly became the preferred option for the placement of people's hard-earned money over a volatile stock market or a bank with negligible interest being paid. Growing consumer confidence kicked in, and now the fear of missing out is really driving the market strongly. Right now is an incredibly unique combination of one of the lowest supplies of property on the market that I've ever seen in 40 plus years in the industry, yet with strong demand from buyers. It's created a situation where properties are being sold very quickly unless they're crazily overpriced. A typical example is a property we listed just last week in the central market of the Gold Coast, where it was listed on Thursday and sold on Sunday with 5 people fighting to get the property. Sold at an outstanding price. No wonder we're starting to see reports coming in about price growth since the middle of this year, but it's also tricky to get a proper read on how price growth is occurring. It is not very high in some areas and extremely high in other areas. In some places, the strongest price growth has been in apartments and others in housing. No question, it is across the board, but it can range anywhere from 5% growth in some properties to 20+% in others. What is clear is that there are two stories emerging. One is for buyers who are increasingly frustrated by the negligible amount of property that's on the market for sale, as well as the reality that they must move quickly with their offers and have to be strong in order to secure the properties. Many buyers are missing out because they do not have unconditional finance in place and are therefore less attractive to any seller. Finance is obtainable, but it has to be done in advance of buying and should always be done through a broker. And the second story is for our sellers. Many of them are thrilled to see their properties sold in 4 or 5 days at what looks like great prices. But they don't realise that they could be leaving a lot of money behind. In markets such as this, open and fair competition is the key to realising a seller's optimum result in their sale. Buyers truly do not know what they are prepared to pay until they're in a competitive situation. And this is why auction at this point in time is the most spectacular way of selling property. For the sake of waiting a few more weeks, there could easily be another 3, 5 or more %, and sometimes considerably more than that by going through this auction process. It's no more work for the sellers, just a couple of more weeks in the process. And in this sort of market, the wiser sellers understand that the method of sale has such a bearing on the price you achieve, and that auction right throughout the country is producing the best outcomes. Now, this is great timing here in the Gold Coast with our upcoming Event 2020 marketing program that kicks off in a couple of weeks. It's an iconic event in the Australian National Real Estate Calendar. It's growing in stature year after year. It's where you see the most amazing auction environment that produces fantastic results for both buyers and sellers. The forward predictions of over 1 million people visiting the Gold Coast over Christmas New Year means there could not be a better time to be offering properties to this huge buying market at present. Now, details of our event program are on screen now. We can only take a limited number, so for anyone considering selling, please reach out to us immediately so that we can give you more information and make sure that you are part of this program. Well, I'll be with you one more time for a final news report for 2019. In the meantime, please be safe on the road and let's really look after each other through this Christmas period.